The day when your results came out. Let's start from there.
I especially did not want my teachers to know my result before I see it on my own. Yeah.
So if you had scored 3 more marks, you would have scored a perfect 100.
Yes.
But I think your mother was seemed very happy and very proud the fact that you were going to get felicitated at a ceremony which would be graced by the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, Shri Yogi Adityanath.
Yeah. So I always manifested that moment for myself. That was actually when I felt really happy. I promised myself that once I'm done with 10th, 11th is going to be for knowing myself, discovering myself, personality development, talking to people.
That is something that's a very, very powerful message. You realize that, right? What's your take on social media?
Yeah, I think social media is it's a pretty great platform, but obviously every coin has two sides. So access of everything is bad. So even if I use social media too much, it will deviate me from my path.
How different was it when you went to Germany? I mean, in terms of their way of life.
They firstly do not have board exams. It's less of rote learning, it's more of analysis. Like there is no fixed syllabus for them. They'll study something, the teacher will give them like a case study and then ask analysis based questions from them.
Where do you think you scored that extra 2.5%?
Till 95%, it's like a level of hard work that everyone puts in. Then the 95 to 96 or 97 or 98, even for that matter, is the extra hard work you put in, which is aside from the others. But the last 1 or 2%, I believe, is mindset.
Hi, and welcome back to Real Verses with Saugat. This is verse 3, and I have a very, very special guest with me today. She is a 16-year-old, vivacious young woman who has just celebrated success for the first time, where she's topped her class 10 boards. She's also someone who's been recognized, rewarded, and awarded by the chief minister of the state. And she is somebody who is mature beyond her years. While I've known her for a while now, but I think this is the first time that we are going to have such a wonderful and intimate conversation about her life in terms of her journey so far and what she is going to do with the rest of her life. Bhavni is the daughter of a very dear friend. She is also someone who has recently topped her class 10 boards, and she's done that with Ilan, and she's someone who everyone is celebrating around, and I did not want to miss out on that, and hence she's here. So let's welcome Bhavni, and let's get set for some amazing conversation in the next 45 minutes or so. Hi, Bhavni. Welcome to Real Verses with Saugat. Thank you so much for being here. It's such a wonderful feeling to have you with me, and I am super excited to have you here. And
Thank
that
you for
too,
having me.
yes, and that too at the very initial stages of my own podcast, right?
Yeah.
And so I think we must start with that big day, right? The D Day,
Yes.
the day when your results came out. Let's start from there.
Yeah. So the day my results came out, I was at home and I'm happy that I was because I did not want to be at school and I especially did not want my teachers to know my result before I see it on my own. So I was at home and I got to know that the results came out through news, through social media, and then I opened my results and then I calculated my percentage. I was at the end of the day satisfied because I knew that I had put in the work, and I think even my parents were really happy that day and even after that. Yeah.
So, are you being very humble when you say that you were satisfied with your efforts? I mean, 99.4% is what you scored in your 10th boards, right?
Yes.
So that's like on an aggregate, if I were to just calculate it on a single paper, you missed out 0.6 marks, right?
Zero point 0.6 marks, that is 3 marks
Right,
in
yes.
total. Yeah.
So if you had scored 3 more marks, you would have scored a perfect 100.
Yes.
So are you being very humble about it, saying that, I was just satisfied with how I scored?
No, I'm not. I was not like very happy or very like jumping on that day. Yes, I was satisfied. It was not like it was a surprise to me. I knew that I would end up doing like
Well,
decent, and yes, it was not like I expected something and something else came out of it. So Yeah.
No, I'm sure for somebody who must have put in so much of hard work, you wouldn't be expecting like I mean, nobody would expect to score 99% where they know that, oh, you know what, I only studied for 60, right? But at least I think when we heard about it, I think we were really really happy. I think we were very ecstatic. I think, and I still am very very proud
Yes.
of the fact that
Yes, even my
you
parents
did
were.
so well. Now you said it was a normal day and you woke up and you waited for the results to come. So was there a lot of tension in the house? Was there what conversations happened that day at home?
Yeah, I pretty much expected it to come out on 13th or 12th of May, because even last year the results came out on 13th of May. So I and when I was at home, I saw that 12th results had already been declared. So I saw that, okay, now 10th is also about to come. So there's usually a 1 to 2 hour gap between 12th results and 10th results. So during that time, yes, I was very nervous. I did not know the moment I clicked that button what numbers are gonna come in front of me. But at the end of the day, it was because I knew I had put in the effort. So the result, obviously, it mattered, but I knew it wouldn't affect me that much, and it shouldn't either.
Wow, that's
Yes.
very sensible and mature to hear someone as young as you say something very sensible and beyond your years. Now let us also talk about that day. I think I do remember your mother was very happy. I think that I think both your parents. I did not get to see your father's reaction too much, but I think your mother was seemed very happy and very proud. Talking about the fact that you were going to get felicitated at a ceremony which would be graced by the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, Shri Yogi Adityanath.
Yes.
What was it that day like? Was it as or what did it feel like? Okay, let me not put words in your mouth. What was that day like?
Uh, so that day, I knew that students are felicitated
Mm-hmm.
when they score good, but there was some confusion whether I did not know whether I'd be called or not. But I always wanted to, because the there's a Didi who is in a batch before me, and she was also felicitated. So I was always very inspired when I saw her, that okay, she got felicitated. And I very vividly remember that there was a prize distribution ceremony, and our principal specifically thanked her name is Sanskriti, so her parents and her grandparents to be present. So I always manifested that moment for myself as well. And I had an idea that I might be called, but that was actually when I felt really happy. That was because marks are one thing, but that was something that I was really wishing.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So we were called to Lucknow, and we attended the ceremony in the presence of the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, and we were all awarded with a medal, a tablet, 1 lakh rupees, and a certificate as well.
Wow. So what
Yes.
what have you done with that money?
I have not done anything, but um, my dad is asking me to invest the money.
Okay. I mean,
So,
that's very much like your dad to ask you to
yeah.
invest. I knew that something like that was going to come out.
Yes.
But yes, which is great. Um, so, I mean, did you get a chance ever since maybe that day or that event, right, Bhavni? A lot of young people in today's world have so many different things to think about. Your years, these formative years in your life, the teen years, are very unlike what maybe I had and your father had, right? It's very very different.
Yeah.
Have you ever had or have you thought about yourself outside of the scores of just about you in terms of what is it about you yourself that is beyond the academics and beyond the scores? Do you think about those kind of things?
Yes, especially after 10th, because I promised myself that once I'm done with 10th, 11th is going to be for personality development. And obviously, I'll try to study, but like the major goal is going to be extracurriculars, knowing myself, discovering myself, personality development, talking to people. And so, yeah, since then, I have started to discover myself a little, but yes, not quite a lot. But yeah, I have figured out some interests of mine. Like I really like doing competitions where you have to like think of a new idea based on a problem, or
Right.
make like recently even I have PCM with fashion studies.
Right.
So our fashion studies homework was to create a fictional brand, and I really had a lot of fun thinking of the name of the brand and what outfits am I going to put. So yes, and that's what I'm kind of doing now.
Wonderful. So, Bhavni, I mean, you also know it yourself, right? The world celebrates a lot of success, whether it is academic, whether it is material, whether it is an accomplishment. So, beyond the world of success, beyond the world of numbers, beyond I mean, in terms of what the world celebrates in you now, what have you had the time to reflect about yourself? What have you figured out in terms of who you are?
Um, yeah, I mean, like obviously the society around me like celebrates marks, and
Correct.
that's nothing to hide. It's obviously if I get good marks, people have a different impression of me. But I like marks are okay, marks are good, and but even before like my board exams, I knew that the board exam papers that I'm going to give are not going to matter in my future.
Right.
But despite knowing that, I still did it because it was the first platform where I actually get to prove myself academically, and I wanted to prove myself not just to others, but I wanted to prove myself to me,
Right.
so that I could be confident that okay, whenever in future I want to do something, and if I put in the effort, I'll be able to achieve it. Um, but I personally don't like celebrate my marks. I celebrate, or I'm more satisfied when I do something that I like. For example, once I had my half yearly exams and it
Right.
just gotten over and I got decent marks. But I was not feeling very satisfied from within, so I decided that I'll paint something. And when the painting turned out nice, I was more happier than what marks I scored.
That is something that's a very very powerful message. You realize that, right? Because I think the world is now very binary in terms of the zeros and the ones, right? And yes, I mean, so what you're saying is that you felt happier about the journey, the process.
Yes, I I will cherish the journey like throughout my life, not just the marks but the journey, because the journey also helped me develop as a person a little bit. Because so I was not, I am a very I have my own flaws. I am very unorganized. I have a very messy bed. My books are everywhere, but I like messy beds because it makes me feel that I'm hustled up and I've got a lot of stuff to do.
Right. You
And
feel busy.
yeah, I feel busy when my bed is messy. And apart from that, like even I scroll for hours on Instagram. It's not like I don't do that stuff, but um that that
But I
really,
realized that I think it's not very long that or maybe I don't know. I saw I looked you up on Instagram,
yeah,
and I saw you have 6 posts,
yeah,
right, and 194 followers.
yes.
Yes, see, I remember all these numbers.
Oh,
So, is it why this recent introduction or initiation into
no, it's
Insta?
not recent at all. I
Okay,
have been
but you haven't been very active.
no, I have a private account, so I
Okay,
only accept request. I don't like let everyone follow me.
got it.
But like I have my Instagram since I was in 7th grade,
Right.
and it's the same account, but obviously I've been like changing stuff up. But it's not like I'm not very active. I am very chronically active on the recent trends and fads. But overall, like as you said, the journey, how did I cherish it? I never studied alone. It was always me and my friend,
Mm-hmm.
and so we would have group study sessions. It was like, and the fact that I knew that there's someone who is studying with me and putting in the hard work, and it really helped both of us push ourselves to the limit.
Got it. Got it.
So it was like we are sitting on a Google Meet call for the entire day, and it was really like busy, especially during the first like during January and February. What we would do is we would like wake up in the morning, and then we'd like do a 3 hour sitting and do a sample paper, and then after that then we would scan our answer sheets, and then we would check each other's, and then
Okay.
after that we do another paper, then we'd go to tuition, then come back, then do some other book, some other questions, and then we would, after everything, we would sleep at 3 or 4 in the night, and then we'd wake up again at 10. So, and this journey was like, I personally would really cherish it, because it was not a very lonely journey. It was difficult, of course. It was hard, but I still like it.
So this co-studying with your friend,
Yeah.
was it always virtual, or did you guys also kind of uh, I mean, I'm assuming that your friend is from the same school.
Yeah, she was in the same school. She was in the same class. Um, but it was always virtual because we were not in the same society.
Okay,
But
all right.
virtual never really affected it much,
Got
because we
it.
would just, okay bhai, link भेज आ जाते हैं अब. तो
Got it. Got it. Was there a process you followed in order to, I'm sure that you did not, did you like put a number on the board, or somewhere, in terms of like, okay, this is my aim, that I want to score like X percentage or X grade? Is that how you started, Bhavni? Is that how the prep started?
yes, like my main agenda was that there is, people know that grade ninth is a little bit more difficult than grade 10th,
Okay.
because grade ninth is where you feel a jump when you go from 8th to ninth.
Right.
So my aim was that the amount that I've scored in ninth, I should score better than that in 10th.
Right.
So I had 98.2 in ninth. So I had to make sure that it needs to be above that at least. But yes, I had for like the last 6 months during before the board exams, I had put it up on my whiteboard with a permanent marker, aim 100. But yeah, now I'm not pressuring myself with it. I've rubbed it off right now.
So let me ask you a bit of a twister.
Yeah.
Like you said, you enjoyed the journey, right?
Yes.
The process in terms of studying with your friend, and possibly burning a lot of hours, and putting in a lot of hours, sleeping, waking up, and I'm
Mhm.
sure that with a messy bed, and
Yeah.
lots of books around and everything.
Yes.
Tell me, Bhavni, how would you have felt, or no, how would you have felt had you um, enjoyed the journey as much as you did, with these great results? So you had a great journey, and you ended up scoring, say, a 65% marks. But you'd possibly enjoyed the journey as much as you're talking about it right now. How would it have felt differently then? Other than the fact, now, okay, there's one thing where people around you, in terms of how they feel, right? So there's your parents, and
Yeah.
there are all those, whether your teachers, your classmates, and all those who have a certain expectation from you,
Yes.
right? But I'm just talking about you yourself. How would you have felt?
Um. Obviously, I would not have felt as good. I would not have felt as happy on that day, and I probably would have been really sad, because at the end of the day, it's the result that you show everyone. It's
It's
not.
the outcome that
It's
matters.
the outcome that matters, exactly. But I would have been at peace with myself, because I knew I did the work, and probably next time then.
So, very interesting answer. You may have been at peace with yourself, but you may not have been happy, because I think a lot of sullen faces around you, is what you would have seen, and hence not felt great about it. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, because I knew that I did whatever I could. But obviously, I would have been sad for probably a month, 2 months after that. People would have told me that we did not expect this from you, we expected better. So obviously, that puts you in a certain isolation.
Yes,
But
yes.
I still wouldn't have been regretting it, because I knew I did the work.
So I think I mean, the reason why I'm asking this, and possibly we are getting a little deeper into this, is because I want everyone watching also to understand in terms of the journey, right? Because obviously there is a certain amount of the pressure that we talk about starts from, I don't know, maybe from your junior school years,
Yes.
at this point of time in the current scheme of things.
Mhm.
Um, help me understand what is the role. So now, while you were preparing with your friend and while you were preparing on your own, what role do you think your family, or let's first identify those people. Of course, there are, you have your parents, you have your sister, your younger sister, who's I'm sure all of them have stood by you,
Yes.
through everything.
Yeah.
Other than, who are the other people who you think mattered in terms of, making sure that you were there and you were focused, and who else played a role there?
Yeah, so the pressure starts setting in when you come in class ninth, because teachers are gonna start doing stricter marking, and they'll say that beta, next year you have boards, so make sure you do this right, you do that right. So pressure will start during mid ninth, but obviously you've heard of the term board exam since probably grade 6, 7th, 8th. You know what it is. So there is a mild pressure, but the actual pressure obviously starts when you go to school on the first day of class 10th, and all teachers are going to say, okay, this is the year where you have to prove yourself. So yeah, apart from my family, my parents, my sister, obviously my teachers played a role, my school teachers, my tuition teachers, and of course, my friend who was studying with me all, like, all the time.
So interesting to ask, what did she score?
Yeah, she also scored good. Like, she scored 97.8%.
Wonderful.
And
Where do you think you scored that extra 2.5%? How did that happen? Considering both of you studied together, I'm sure that the approach was the same. I think the level of preparation must have been the same. Is there a difference? Do you think each individual, and again, the reason why I'm asking this question is, uh, each individual has his or her own journey, right? So just like both of you studied together, and it happens, right? In a class, you are possibly 30, 40 students. Bhavni will possibly end up being somewhere, and maybe your friend, this friend of yours, who I'm assuming must be a very good friend. I'm sure that she will end up being somewhere else. Um, do these, I mean, do you think all of this matters at the end of the day? How do you look at this?
yeah, so I think till 95%, it's like a level of hard work that everyone puts in. Then the 95 to 96 or 97 or 98, even for that matter, is the extra hard work you put in, which is aside from the others. But the last 1 or 2%, I believe, is mindset. When you're sitting in the paper, you need so I remember during my SST exam, the paper was quite difficult,
Right.
and I was in tears for the first 10 minutes, and I was debating and with God that why have you done this? Why did you? I studied so hard. Why did this happen? But when you're writing the paper, when you start writing the paper, it is about fighting with the paper. You have to act like the paper cannot win over me. I'm going to win over the paper. So if there is a question which I don't know, I'm not going to panic. I don't have time to panic during those 3 hours. I can panic, I can cry after the paper maybe, but not during the paper. If I don't know the question, I'll write something, I'll write whatever I know, and I'll move on to the next one. So you have to have a very strong and very confident and a very positive, not positive actually, you'll be very nervous for the first two exams, but at least a very strong and a stable mindset when you write the paper. And what this year's papers I feel did was that they somewhere, like, a little bit, they staggered like the mindset of a few students, because the moment you saw the paper, they were a bit of a higher level than probably previous years. So you just, when you see the paper for the first time and you're scrolling through the pages in the first 15 minutes, you don't have to get panicked. You have to say, okay, this is what I have to deal with it, and these are the next 3 hours. Well, I'll put whatever I studied on that answer sheet, and I'll win over the paper. So
Wonderful. Amazing. So you already are quite the fighter, right? Which is great. Trust me, you are going to need that spirit for a lot of battles ahead. Um, Bhavni, I think most of who we become as adults, a lot of those seeds are sown at home. Charity begins at home. I think one of the first proverbs that we learn in our lives, right? What role do you think your parents played? I mean, I know them, but I know them as maybe your father as a friend. and your mother's a friend of my wife, but and we know them as friends, but as a daughter, right? What role do you think they played, or they, to tell you about successes and failures, not as outcomes, but more about as experiences?
Yeah, they were very clear on that failure will come, but what you have to do is simply put your 100% in what you're doing. It's not about successes or failures, and it's more about just giving your 100% and trying your best and planning the way you want the result to come. And like one thing that I'm really grateful about is that they had faith in me. They were never really coming in and checking on me every 2 hours and saying, what are you doing? Are you studying? Are you not studying? What are you doing? You know, and that faith really motivated me to do good. um, because in fact, like I knew that I was not obviously studying for 24 hours a day. You know, there were times when I would just scroll for an hour, or when I would just be like, okay, I don't want to do anything else, I'll just watch a movie, I'll watch something. And but at the end of the day, they had faith in me and they just let me do it the way I wanted to do it. And that, I think, really really helped. But at the same time, whenever I had, like whenever I was panicked, or whenever there was a paper in 2 days and I would suddenly feel the panic that, okay, I have 19 chapters in 2 days, what am I going to do? Then they would always come and help me strategize that, okay, you do 8 chapters today, you finish these chapters, you do the next probably 9, 10 tomorrow, and then you do this. So they were always there when like I needed it, but they were not at the same time very much involved within that.
Like down your throat, and trying to
Yeah,
just kind of
exactly.
so what you're saying is, Bhavni, that you had the freedom, number one.
Yes.
Number two, I think you always had that the faith that since they were not, they were there, they made sure that they made they kind of gave you all the support. And I think, is that what you think is necessary nowadays? Obviously, as a uh, I think when I was 16 years old, the way parenting has evolved, right, is very very different,
Yeah.
right? And I'm sure that I can have that conversation with your parents,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm sure that they would agree, because we would relate with each other, right? Now I think it's so much about, because youngsters are very different nowadays. Obviously, there's a huge generational gap, and so the so were they okay to tell you that, hey, you know what, it's okay if you fail?
No,
No.
they were not okay with telling me that, because they always knew that I could do good.
Okay.
But yes, at the same time they were always like, it's okay if it doesn't happen, it's fine. Like, obviously yes, they did say that a few times, that it's okay, we are seeing you working hard, it's and that's enough. And my mom used to say this even like before the results, that I have seen her working hard, now whatever the result is, it doesn't matter to me. So, but yes, at the same time, I knew that if I got probably lesser marks, they would not say it to me, but obviously they would want a
And
better.
your mom would go into a corner and possibly shed some tears, and you're
No,
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 not like,
no,
nothing
not
like that.
like
I'm
that.
just kidding and pulling your leg. No, but knowing your parents, I know that they're very balanced people, and I think
Yes, they're very balanced. Yes,
yes,
that's
I
really.
think that is something which is so very critical, I suppose, in the how you raise any child now, right?
Mhm.
I think you being blessed with balanced parents. I
Yes,
think that's
balanced
something very
parents. Yeah.
important. What is your understanding of um, you know how do you go through phases of self doubt? I'm sure that was there a time when you
Yes, there was a uh, so when I was in ninth, there was a lot of self doubt, and there was a lot of anxiety, and I would like overthink everything and think of everything, and I'll go deep in what is gonna happen if this happens and if that happens. But like my friend, she really helped me with this. She was always like, "It's not that deep. Stop thinking," and that really helped. But yes, there were a lot of phases of self doubt when I thought that maybe I wouldn't be able to do it. Maybe I might just it just slips. Sometimes like there are a lot of times when it just slips off your hands when you did the work and it just doesn't happen. But yeah, so I just told myself to not think all of that, just do what I have to do and I'll wait for the result.
All right, great. Bhavni, is there is there pressure to keep up? Is that like a norm? Have you ever felt like that? What in terms of that you have to be a certain level, that you have to be at a certain place at all times? Have you ever felt that pressure to keep up always?
Academically or
Academically,
like
I
generally?
think generally otherwise as well. I mean, as a teenager, as a 16-year-old girl
Yeah.
in 2025.
Yeah, of course, there is pressure to like at least keep up with basic recent fads so that like I don't that I put that pressure on myself. No one puts it on me, but I'm like, okay, I have to like dress up like everyone else around me is. I need to match that, and only because I want to, not because I have to, but I like doing that. But pressure keeping up academically, obviously, yes, it is there when you're in a grade like 10th. You have to keep up academically if and only if that's your priority. It's not important that everyone has the priority of doing good in board exams. Board exams cannot be everyone's priority. It has to be like if you're academically good, then yes, but sometimes being a very good sports person can be your priority. It's not necessary that studying is the only thing that's going to take you ahead.
So, is there? Do you have friends who have an equally supportive environment at home where they are encouraged to follow their own passion? I mean, is that how? Is that something that you're, that you see in your peers, or is it the same for everyone in class 10th? Is there somebody who's like a great sportsman? His or her parents have said, maybe a friend of yours where he or she did not have the pressure, yes, Shanti, I have to perform or I have to get X percentage of marks.
I mean, the people I know, I mean, their parents are usually quite liberal with that. But yes, obviously, there are people who face that pressure कि इस साल 10th grade है, you have to study for it. It's like, मतलब, even there are some teachers who will say that this year it's 10th, stop focusing a little bit on activities, get back to studying for 1 year. But so yes, that is a scenario, and that scenario is very commonplace around us. It's like there are a lot of students who like doing something else, but then they push that aside for grade 10th. But not someone I know personally.
Now, we have talked a lot about what has happened so far, right? And from here now, is there a is there more responsibility? Are you expected to think or act in a certain way now that you have that at least in the eyes of the world you have achieved something that that kind of places you in a situation or in a position where you're expected to think in a very certain way. Is there something like that? Is that kind of a is that a reality that exists?
Yeah, obviously there would be expectations now, but it's not necessary that I act upon each of them, right? There are only specific expectations if there are that matter to me. If someone who is not very close to me or even is close to me expects something from me and I don't want to live up to it, that's my choice.
Absolutely.
So yes, there are expectations, but I have different expectations from myself. This year, I want to do a little bit more of personality development. I want to get into more extracurriculars. Obviously, keep academics at a pace, but yeah, it's about diversifying my portfolio a little more.
So why do you think that's important, or why do you think that's necessary?
Um, that's necessary because 10th grade was some was a grade where I even myself wanted to do good. So I it was just like I have to do this now. So I blocked myself from anything else. I was very, but I was actually since the starting I've been very shy. So I was very um like I anyways did not speak much and stuff. So I was very like on that path. But now I just want to like express myself, like go out and talk to people and yeah, just develop myself a little more like personality wise.
Is that something that you want to do for yourself? I mean, is there a certain objective that you want to accomplish by doing all of this, or is it just because you think like, or you feel like, oh, you know what? I think I just want to maybe kind of talk to more people. I want to make more friends. I want to be more social. I know this is like the most that I've heard you speak.
Yeah.
And I've known you for what, 4.5 years now?
Yeah.
So,
So, no, the objective is obviously that when you're living in 2025 and when then in the next 5 years, I probably have to present myself to the world in today's date. More than anything, it's communication and presenting skills and creativity that's going to matter. So, I want to like personality wise as well, and even like confidence wise develop myself in that way so that I'm able to fit in and deliver my skills in a better way even in the future. So that's more of a deeper objective, but yes, I also want to like explore this aspect a little more.
wonderful. Um, Bhavi, is there, what's your take on social media? I think, there is a, there is a lot of it out there right now.
Mm-hmm.
You have an Instagram, you have Facebook. I mean, Facebook now has, I
Yeah.
suppose, become old and
Yeah.
possibly a little, I do not know if people consider it dated, but Facebook has been there since the time Facebook came after Orkut. I think that was the first social media platform that we were introduced to when I was in my college or something like that. And then Orkut was replaced by Facebook very quickly. With all of these things around, how much do they actually impact and influence someone like you and your life? What do you make of it?
Yeah, I think social media is like it's a pretty great platform, but obviously every coin has two sides. So excess of everything is bad. So even if I use social media too much, it will deviate me from my path. But I think it's a great place if you want to express yourselves, your ideas, and if you want to know what other people think about a specific thing. So, and like if you're interested in a specific thing, the way it algorithmically like fills in your
Yes,
feed with
right,
what you
right.
like. So yeah, obviously, but there's a lot of brain rot now as well, but it's nice for some time.
I know, absolutely. So, is there a certain kind of content that you watch or you think that helps you? Is there something, as you said, social media obviously has two sides to it, right? I'm sure there is a side to it which is good, and I agree. And I'm also one of those millions of people out there who has benefited from it. What sort of content do you or do you kind of take to? Does that help you in any way in terms of fulfilling any of the objectives that we have discussed?
Yeah, so academically, like even in class 10th, YouTube helped me a lot to study. I People said that follow one teacher, like, but I was like, no, I'll see everyone and then I'll see if whatever is good from each and every snippet, I'll take that. So I mean, I used YouTube a lot to study, like whether it it was like multiple channels, multiple teachers, like each and everything. Because since I started from the beginning of class 10th, I had the time to explore that, okay, अच्छा ये वीडियो भी है, इसको भी देख लेते हैं एक बार के लिए कि क्या है. तो yeah, so that's why um, yes, YouTube helped me. Apart from that, yes, like there's a lot of entertaining stuff as well, and obviously interests keep changing in every 3 4 months, so like it keeps changing. So
So, from your own circle, in your own network of friends and peers, can you give us an example of how you, maybe for yourself or somebody else in your, someone that you know, where you think social media helped, and also an example where you think it also caused some kind of chaos, mayhem in somebody's life or in the in the overall scheme of things?
yeah, I mean, obviously, social media does not help you in every aspect. There is a lot of account hacking that happens. Someone is gonna hack your account and then post something that you do not support. So, obviously, you have to be cautious
True.
in terms of all of that. But social media will not essentially help as a factor in anything, but it's a good, like, it's a guilty pleasure that I like to do.
It's just something that you indulge into maybe just as
Just
in
to
between
relax,
studies, it's like
yeah.
okay, I scrolled for a bit, I saw
Yeah.
some reels, I felt happy, I laughed,
And I'm saying that because I'm not ashamed of admitting that, because
yeah, of course. I
yeah,
mean, you shouldn't be.
everyone does it, even I did it. So it's fine. Yeah.
How do you regulate your use of the entire? Because Bhavni, and I'm sure you know about this as well, right? There's just too much of content out there.
Yeah, there is too much of content.
How do you keep yourself regulated or your mind regulated? I mean, free of too much of chaos or too many things, uh, you know, just coming your way and you having to absorb too many content. Is there a way that you regulate yourself? Is there like a governor or is there a regulator that you have put for yourself in terms of how you?
Yeah, my conscience is the biggest regulator that I have. The moment I like when I start when I know that I have to do something and I'm like scrolling for 1 hour, then like suddenly something is going to tell me that okay, you have to stop, this is not what you're supposed to do right now. But when I don't have anything to do, then I can't control what I'm taking, what content I'm taking, and then I'm just like okay, I don't have anything to do, I'll keep.
True. So when you go out now in school, in with your friends and all of that, what do 16-year-old girls talk about these days? What are the conversations about?
uh well, there are a lot of conversations
Some
that
of it, I'm sure we won't be able to cover everything, but
well, I myself am not pretty caught up right now, but I'm trying to catch up. But there's a lot of things that people talk about. But nowadays, I think talks have become even more intellectual, where like you want to talk about okay, how do I communicate better? How do I get into this internship? And people, a lot of people around you are like doing things to enhance for their portfolios or for college. So that's obviously one aspect of it. But
I know there's some very very exciting stuff happening all around.
yes,
I know what you're talking about. I think you have also been part of certain cultural exchanges.
yes,
And so
yes.
tell us a little bit about that
Yeah,
experience.
so I took German as my third language when I was in sixth grade. And as a matter of fact, I was about to like take French first because I did not know what the difference is. So I was like, okay, all my friends have taken French, I'll also take French. But something like my dad told me take German because he's somewhere associated with like the Deutsche Bank. So he said, okay, maybe you might need it somewhere and it might help you. Or I don't know. He just established a connection on his own. So I was like, okay, I'll take German, and I do not regret that. Like I will never regret that decision. So since sixth and seventh was online, then like I have been very like I really love the language. I'm very passionate about it. So there is this Deutsch stuff that happens in Mayo College in Ajmer, and so we go there every year, like for competitions. Then when I was in 10th grade itself, there was a cultural exchange program opportunity that we got, where students would come. We would have partners, so I'd have one partner in Germany, and they'd come. I'd go and stay there in their house for 2 weeks, and then they'll come and stay in my house for 2 weeks. And that's how like we'll exchange our cultural ideas and everything. And that has been like one of my greatest experiences yet. And
I'm sure it was.
yeah, so like she was in 12th grade there. We sat there and attended their classes in their school. We got to look at different monuments. We got to understand their idea on various topics. And then when they came here, they saw our country, how we are culturally diverse and probably different as well. And then obviously our topic was sustainability, so we also had little treasure hunts or activities that we planned to exchange ideas of sustainability. So and so consistent breaks like these, like the exchange program. So the first break happened, and then I always took consistent breaks. Once one set of exams got over, I would like just go out or probably go for a trip or something like that always came up. So that really helped me buckle up for the next stretch. So yeah, apart from that, yeah, I love German, I love the language, and I'm also going to Germany in July 6th to 26th July. I've been selected for the you get course scholarship. So there's a Goethe Institute,
Right.
which promotes German in various schools. So if you're a Pash school, that's basically they have categorized some schools as Pash schools. So then you will get an opportunity. Then your school students will get an opportunity uh, to have an interview, to write a motivation letter, and then if they select you, then you go to a scholarship which is free of cost. They'll cover all expenses and they'll
Wonderful.
teach German to you, and then they'll also give you. So there's language proficiency. There's A1, A2. So if you do well, and like they'll also conduct an exam for you where I if I do decent, then I might get be even proficiency as well. And I always wanted like this scholarship. I got to know about this scholarship when I was in, I think, 8th or ninth grade. So a didi in my school who was in 11th grade got the scholarship, and since then I have been waiting for my chance, that when am I going to get this chance, when 10th grade is going to get over. And I have always been manifesting that interview, that what are they going to ask me, what am I going to reply. So now it's done, but and I got selected, thankfully.
Wonderful.
And I'm really excited for that as well.
So you've been to Germany once so far.
Yes.
Okay. So when you were there, was
Mhm.
that something about you that you discovered? Something that you did not know existed earlier previously, but you when you went there and you were there on your own for whatever number of days, a couple of weeks. You stayed at another German student's house.
Yeah, like we also had a lot of Indian students with us. We were 14 students from our school. But like one thing that was like the first outing or something that I had after my probably personality developed a little bit. So that's when I realized that yeah, probably I have a pretty decent sense of humor maybe. So that was something I discovered, but not something very deep. No, I just
Was what would you treasure more, going forward in life? What are you going to tell the 25-year-old Bhaavni, right? What would make you more happy? Would you want to see yourself very successful, or would you want to see yourself being very content, very happy? I mean, at least at peace with whatever you are doing, wherever you are.
no, I want to be successful. After that, I can be as content as I want to be. So
Tell me, have you been able to maybe kind of put some definition of what success might mean to you?
yeah, success would firstly mean that I'm doing what I really like doing, what I really love doing. And obviously, then it also means that, like, I have decent finance with me as well. So,
Okay, all right, wonderful. You have a younger sister as well,
mhm.
right? Um, how old is she now?
She's 11.
She's 11. So, what kind of an older sister are you to her? What's your relationship with her like?
Um, I think, like, I mean, like, from the top, it's a bit like we fight a lot, but deep down, I think I have established it in a way that if she wants to come and tell me something, then she can, and she can talk to me. And like, so, like, we have a very like good relationship that way, because when we sleep alone, then like she'll tell me stuff. So I always wanted to establish that sort of a relationship where she can tell me something that she might not be she might not want to tell our parents. So yeah, I think we have established it in that way, that if she wants, she can talk to me anytime. She can tell me what's in her mind. If Because what happened in my generation in, let's say, 8th grade, would obviously happen in her generation in probably 6th grade, 7th grade, a little earlier than when it happened in my age. So I think I'll be able to obviously relate to her more and give her probably decent advice.
Wonderful. Great. I know. I mean, we keep seeing her, and I think she was also going to grow up to be a very, very feisty young woman.
Mm-hmm.
If you're, if you could maybe depict your current life as a dance or a painting or something, what would it show, Bhavi?
Mm, so, like, initially, I made sure 10th was probably like just the sketch with like black and white, and in 11th I'm trying to fill in a little more color in it and explore more aspects of it.
So what would it show? Tell me a vivid image of if you want to draw a painting of your life right now, what would it be like?
I don't know, it'll be bold, it'll have bold colors. It'll also have subtle light colors showing the light-heartedness. Probably like a painting that I painted was a dancer in like when the half yearly painting that I was talking about. So yeah, probably that painting where I'm trying to just fill in more colors, make it brighter, and also at the same time stay consistent with what I had before as well. Um, Before I let you go, I think a couple of more things that come to mind. What would you advise another 16-year-old, or maybe someone who's possibly maybe okay a year younger, right? What would you tell her? Um, don't overthink. It's not that deep. You'll get through. But uh, obviously, like I don't think that I'm very like that qualified enough to advise someone like
Just
that.
as maybe as a friend, as a
But yeah,
senior, as a
I would just say like don't overthink, and board exam results are not going to determine your life in any way. It probably may determine like the first 6 months of class 11th, but that's all, and that's where it ends. So you don't have to like give your best, but don't overthink it. But then yeah, and do it only if you really want to. There's no need to pressure yourself because other people want you to do it. So you feel there is enough opportunity even for those nowadays who are decent students who are not possibly top of the grade. But do you feel that the world around us supports enough of those people who can pursue their other interests, and who may feel that oh I'm possibly someone who just wants to paint, or I am just somebody who is good at playing football or soccer, and that's all that I want to do in life. So do you think there are the infrastructure around us supports people at your age? I think like it's working on that. It's work in progress still? Yes, it's a work in progress still, because obviously when you come in 10th there is this overall pressure over you that this year you have to study, you only should study. So we are working on that, but we've still not reached that level where I can say with pride that I want to become a painter because I love painting, you know or I want to. But we are reaching there, because, for example, when I went to Lucknow for the felicitation, even sports students were felicitated there with, like, they were given medals, they were also given prize money for certain sports that they were playing. So, yeah, exactly. It's so coming. Start has been made. Yes, the start has been made. We have reached a level, but we can do better with that as well, I think. How different was it when you went to Germany? I mean, in terms of their way of life. I know for a fact because I have a lot of friends who live in settled in Europe, and I think their way of education and the way they raise kids, even in school, is very very different. So yes, what's your their way of education, and that it's very different. Like, they firstly do not have board exams. They uh obviously it's a little, it's not, it's more, it's less of rote learning, it's more of analysis. Like, there is no fixed syllabus for them. They'll study something, the teacher will give them like a case study and then ask analysis based questions from them, maybe. Or so they have more of a analysis examination kind of a way. But yes, academics is not very pressurized over there, because obviously here, because of the population as well, there is places where it obviously gets narrowed down when you reach up. Right, but over there, it's not really like that. They know that even if someone goes and says that I want to be a singer, they will not, they won't be much protest over it. Like, no one is going to say anything. Yes, you pursue singing, you become a singer, and like, you live a life that you want. Wonderful. Amazing. Bhavni, so where do you go from here? Have you decided, or have you thought about maybe a few things that you want to do over the next few years, academically and otherwise? Um, Academically, yeah, I want to like remain decent. I don't mind like having above average kind of grades. I don't mind that. Otherwise, yes, I want to become a little more. I want to get better public speaking skills, become more confident, um, and probably like do a lot of more competitions and extracurricular activities, and also like have a more analysis based approach.
Wonderful. Great. Fantastic. Bhavni, I think you did very well. Is this your first podcast?
Yes.
How was your experience?
I think like I had a lot of fun. I've actually like when I have been like I manifest things a lot. So when I started 10th, even then I thought of this somehow, that if I do good, maybe some teacher from YouTube might call me or something might happen, and then what am I going to say? So and like wow, how do things,
All right.
how things
Wonderful,
just
amazing. Uh, Honestly speaking, I think what started out as a very as something of a very friendly or maybe like a very loving and affectionate gesture from in my mind in terms of the fact that I wanted
yeah.
someone of your generation to be here, and who better than a someone who's a daughter figure. But yes, I mean it's been so nice to have you here. And in fact, when when we met the other day, and when I was telling you that this is what this is how this conversation is going to be
Yeah.
like, I was myself a little nervous because
Yes.
I never heard you speak much, right? Even when we would meet at home and during parties and get-togethers and stuff, I think you were always the quieter one, right? Tani is obviously the one who's like the
Yes.
right?
Yes.
But I'm so glad that you are here, and it has been so wonderful to listen to your views and your thoughts and your feelings. I can only wish the world for you, Bhavni. I mean, God bless you.
Thank you.
I hope you
Thank you.
are happy and do very well. You become very successful. God bless the entire journey. You have two great parents to support you, and I'm sure that there are lots of good friends. And I hope you make more and more of them as you go along.
Yes.
So thank you so much for being here
Thank
with
you.
me and on Real Versus with Saugat once again.
Yes.
Wonderful having you around. I will see you again soon, obviously outside the camera. But
Yes.
take care. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.